So we're going to close out our conference called Amplify. Now this was pretty unique. So we had an entire conference over the last day and a half, and we named it Amplify, and we didn't tell you why. Right? We didn't tell you what the vision was. We didn't tell you what the purpose was. We didn't tell you anything, right? So we could go through the definition, and we could do all those things, but I think it's pretty simple to say, right? We work in tech. We work in worship. We want to amplify, right? We've got amplifiers. We've got music that we want to make louder. We've got voices we need to make louder. That's the simple answer. Right? I'm actually going to share with you something maybe a little more personal than I'd like to. I would love the lights to be off and not see any of you right now, because I'm going to share some things that have been on my heart and in my life and in my walk for a number of years. But first, I want to share with you about Joshua. Okay, God takes us on unexpected journeys. Joshua, we know Joshua, right? He and Caleb went into Israel. They were part of the two spies that went in. They were the only two that came back out of those spies that said, what, we can do this. We can do what God says we can do. Right? So Joshua's the only one that kind of remained. Joshua and Caleb were the remnant of a part of Israel that actually got to see the promised land. They came out of Egypt. They saw the peril. They saw the bad. And they got to see the promised land. Joshua, in Exodus 17:9, Moses commanded Joshua, go get some men, go out and fight the army of Amalek for us. Hold on a second. What's this saying? So we don't know much about Joshua, other than he was a spy at this point. From this, we know that Joshua was an accomplished warrior. I mean, how many of us are going to stand as leaders, as champions, and say, hey, rookie, go out there and fight those bad guys, right? We're not going to send the guy that we don't know can do it. We're going to send someone who's been accomplished, who's done this before. Right? Now this is Moses saying it. Tomorrow, I'm asking you to go out and fight the Amalekites. Tomorrow I'm going to stand on the top of the hill holding my staff, holding the staff of God in my hand. Hang on. Let's think this through. I just asked you to go out and fight people, and I'm going to go stand on the roof of the building with my iPad of God in my hand. Right? Like Jody. Right now, I want you to go fight the militants. Tomorrow, I'm going to go stand on the roof with my iPad. Okay. That's exactly it. I might question that. People are like, Rich, what are you talking about? You want me to go fight those guys and you're going to stand on the roof with your iPad? Joshua did it without question. And that's exactly it. Joshua did it without question. Now we know the rest of the story. The battle swayed in their favor as Joshua was on the roof, as Joshua was in the battle, and Moses was on the mountaintop, right? As he's standing there, and his arms are raised to God, right? As his arms are raised, Joshua wages war, and he starts winning, right? The battle starts swaying in their favor. It starts going their direction. But when his hands drop, they start losing, right? They start losing ground. They start taking, that victory starts going their way. They go in the other direction. Exodus 17:13, as a result. Now those are the three words I want you to hear here today. As a result, Joshua overwhelmed the army of Amalek in the battle. As a result of Moses standing on a mountaintop and praying and holding up his staff. As a result of Aaron and Hur coming beside Moses and holding his arms up, but he couldn't do it. It wasn't Joshua doing what he was called to do. It wasn't Joshua operating in his anointing. It wasn't Joshua operating in what God had called him to do. It was as a result of Moses being that spiritual covering. As a result of Moses doing what he said he was going to do. Now, Patrick, go out and fight those militants. I'm going to stand on the rooftop with my iPad of God. I'm in. As a result. As a result of prayer. As a result of Joshua's obedience. As a result of Moses' obedience. Right? Out of Aaron and Hur's obedience. Now what this did is, we already knew that Joshua was able to defeat the Amalekites. But it solidified his military dominance. Okay? So I don't even really want to talk about this battle. I want to talk about Jericho, but I said all of that so you can see kind of where we're going here. In Jericho, I mean, the Israelites had seen so much. I mean, they had just crossed from into the promised land, right? They had just crossed in, and God said, listen, send your priests, grab the ark, go stand in the river's going to stop. Not going to part and do these things. It just stopped flowing, right? The downstream went into the sea, and upstream it flooded somewhere. Let's just hope we're not those guys, okay? And there's a whole message inside of that. But inside of this one thing, we've already seen these miracles, and God says, go to Jericho. This is their first battle they have to face. This is a military A military strategist's first battle. Okay, if you're a military strategist, what are you going to rely on? Your own experience. Maybe your own past, your own education, your own talents, your own giftings, your own anointings, right? I'm there. Every day I walk in and I step up and I say, I can do that because I have this. I can do that because of these things. I talked last night in 2 Corinthians 12:9 as I boast about my weakness because it's done in Christ's strength because of my weakness, right? So here's Joshua. He's just done all these things. He's followed God. He's done these miracles. And he walks up and Joshua says, listen, we're going to go defeat this place. We're going to knock it down with catapults and bulldozers. Y'all were looking at me funny. That's what he did, right? Maybe not. I'll go back. There we go. So now the gates of Jericho were tightly shut because the people were afraid of the Israelites. So again, I asked the question, what would you stand on? What would you rely on? Where would you go in your head? You've just defeated the Amalekites. You've seen God work miracles. You've seen him stop the river from flowing just because your priest carried the Ark of the Covenant and stood in the water. The minute their feet touched the water stopped flowing. The people of Jericho, they were afraid of the Israelites. They shut the doors. They battened down the hatches. They said, you're not getting in here. He had every right to rely on his own strengths. He had every right to rely on his own experience. He had every right to stand where he was and say, I've got this. But he didn't. He went through and he said, you know what? I'm going to trust God. We know this story, right? And if we don't know the story, God told him, the angel of the Lord, the commander of God's army came and he saw Joshua and he said, listen, I want you to take the ark and I want you to walk around the city once a day for 6 days. On the 7th day, I want you to do it 7 times. On the 7th time around the city, I want your priest to scream, right, to shout victory and blow the ram's horns. And when they did it, the walls came tumbling down. Now, if you're a military strategist, is that your first choice? Does that even cross your mind? Okay, is that even a far-fetched idea? I mean, I'm sitting here thinking, I'm a military strategist, and God says do these things, and I'm all about listening to him. I've already seen where I can go wage battle, and somebody needs to stand on the mountain, and as a result of that, I'll be successful. But am I going to go and walk around the city and blow a horn and scream? I would, at this point, right? I would think about it. I would think about it, but eventually I would come to that place. I may not fleece at this point, but I'm really going to do it. So I want to talk to you a little bit about my why. So Amplify. What is Amplify? What do we do this for? We've got 20 hours worth of courses that you guys have sat through over the last day and a half. You didn't go to all of them, but we have 20 hours of courses. My why. Why am I here? It was a number of years ago, and I'm getting a little nervous here, so bear with me. A number of years ago, I felt led to serve a pastor from a different church. We had been planted, I always tell everybody I grew up in Texas, okay? I was born and raised in Dixon, but I grew up in Texas. So during the Marine Corps, when I got out, I went to see a friend, and I stayed there for almost a decade. We served in this church, and the pastor there was my pastor, and he was a spiritual father. He really poured into me in ways that I can't even express. But I felt led to serve a pastor of a different church. And I'm like, how do I work this out? How do I serve this pastor at this church over here? And it was almost a year's worth of promptings. Every time I saw him, every time I thought about him, every time I prayed, God, what's going to take me to that next step? What's going to take me to that next level? How do I get involved in my calling, in my ministry to serve this man? Serve Tim Hope. He's a 5'2" guitarist, and he's probably the best guitarist I've ever seen in my life. He's got small hands. It's weird. But God said, serve him. I'm like, I can't serve a pastor from a different church, right? That's serving two visions. I can't do it. So in the background, he was feeling the same thing about my senior pastor. God was saying, hey, Tim, I want you to go and serve this church. I want you to go and serve this pastor. It took a year for this to actually come to my attention, that Tim was called to serve my senior pastor, and he became an associate pastor of our church. Their church joined our church. Now, who's ever seen that happen, right? We've seen 2 from 1. But we've never really seen one come from 2 churches. So we merged churches. So this, I'm like, okay, so this is a sign. I'm on the right track. God's telling me something. So I came up to Tim and I said, hey, Pastor Tim, I just feel a calling and have for the last year to serve you in any way possible. What can I do for you? And I called him every day. And I said, hey, Tim, what can I do for you today? Some days it was, can you pick my dog up from the groomer? Some days it was, can you pick up the laundry? Some days it was, can you help me with this message? Some days it was, can you help me clean out this shed? Some days it was nothing. But I called him every day without hesitation, without a question, and I did what he asked because I knew as a result it was going to happen, right? So, I'm going to show you my next slide here. So I walked through this process with Tim, and I knew at the end of this, there we go, I knew at the end of this that I was going to be stepping into my calling, stepping into my ministry. I knew at the age of 16 that God called me to be in full-time ministry. I knew at the age of 16 that God called me not to sit behind a soundboard, but to pastor and to preach and to speak to people. I knew, I'm not telling you how many years ago it was, but I knew years ago that I was called to do these things. And I'm sitting here 6 months straight just knowing that God, through this season, I'm going to be stepping into that calling. I know without a shadow of a doubt I'm going to step into my destiny.